Hello there and welcome to another weekly career question with me, Emmy Peterson. I have been working as a career transition coach here at The Bridge Coaching since 2013, and if you've followed along, you know that I have had many questions over the years, and in this weekly career question video, I cover some of the most common ones that I get. And today we are going to talk about promotions. I've had different flavors of this question over the years, but let's go with this one because it's a fairly common one that I hear. So an internal role has come up and I really want to get promoted, but it's a big step and I don't know if I should apply. I have had a flavor of this question. I have asked myself this question too, but I've had it many times from clients and especially my female clients. And having this doubt or wondering if it's the right thing to do is really common. But I'm going to share with you today 3 key simple aspects that you can reflect on if this is coming up for you or has come up for you. Because let's face it, yes, you should go for it. If there is any part of you that's really interested in this role or it resonates with you or there's something about wanting to be promoted internally in the company, absolutely go for it. I actually had an opportunity quite a few years ago now where I was working at a company and a manager role became available and I looked at it, but then I was like, oh, I'm probably not qualified enough for that role. And then I actually got tapped on the shoulder by my current manager at the time who said, you should really put your hat in the ring for this one. You would be a really great asset to the company. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? But they're asking for X, Y, and Z. And long story short, I applied and I got it, and it was a really great role. I learned so much. It stretched me a lot, but I also learned a lot from it. So I always say to people, yes, absolutely go for it. You may though want to think about a couple of things before you go ahead and do that. So if you are feeling hesitant, which the question presupposed, and a lot of people who've asked me this question are also hesitating. So what I would say is get a bit of an idea around how you're tracking with your self-esteem and your self-confidence. I've done a specific video on this that I can link and share with you here below, but essentially, really briefly, self-esteem is how you're feeling about yourself. How good a friend are you to yourself in general at the moment? Are you feeling, on a scale from 1 to 10, are you feeling like, yep, I'm doing really great and I'm feeling really happy about myself and my life in general? Or more rather that you have a strong relationship with yourself. Whereas 1 would be, no, I feel really disconnected and really unhappy with myself and have a lot of anxiety and other things going on perhaps. So self-esteem is your relationship with yourself, your friendship with yourself, or your general well-being. Whereas your self-confidence is usually the thing that gets in the way, especially with career transitions. Self-esteem is obviously the baseline, so that's with you wherever you are and whatever you work, or if you're even outside of your workspace. Self-confidence is more about your capacity or ability to do specific things. So the thing that held me back personally when I got tapped on the shoulder for that manager role was that I didn't feel confident that I could do a manager role because I hadn't been in a role of that type or with that responsibility before. And I remember feeling like, I don't know if I can do it. If you feel that way, it's usually your confidence that is getting triggered and you're going, I'm not sure that I can. Now, there's 2 nuances that I want to kind of outline here. So the self-confidence bit is, I'm not sure if I can. If you have anything coming up like, oh, I'm not sure I'm worthy, or who am I to think that I could do that, that's probably more in the self-esteem bucket rather than your capacity or your skill set, which is what self-confidence is about. This is something I very often unpack, by the way, with clients one-on-one. And like I said, I will link that specific video below so that you can kind of understand a little bit more about the nuance between the 2. But this is one to reflect on if you've got stuff and resistance coming up for you, because I bet you both of these might be triggering for you. The next thing is obviously find out more about the specific skills and team and purpose of the role. And this is really important because just because you get, whether you get recommended by someone or it comes up on the intranet and you see it and it piques your eye and you're really interested in it, remember as well that every role in a company has a different purpose. So it could be that this role is new, it could have been around for a while. So try to, if you can, through either reading, obviously reading the job description is a really good start, But you may also want to chat to the hiring manager at HR, or if you know the manager or the organization, you might even want to chat to them and say, look, I'm really interested in this role and I'd love to have a chat to better understand, without it being a formal interview, to just find out a bit more about it. Now, you may or may not be able to get a lot more detail than what's already communicated, and depending on your company, they might just have a policy where, there's a very particular way of applying. But try, if you can, through contacts or other things, find out more about the skills. Think about the team this role is going into as well. So understand, are they under-resourced, or are they a new team, or, do you know a little bit about that team? Who's it reporting into? And is that manager someone that you've heard good things about and that you would like to work with, or is it an unknown for you? So rather than just looking at the job description itself, kind of look at it in the context, because you have the benefit of already being in this company, and you probably know about the great things about the business that you're in and some of the challenges that they're having. And looking at that through the context, which is really what the second point is all about, getting the context of the skill set they need that person to have. And there'll be a wish list. There always is in every single job ad, which is like, you must have X, Y, and Z, and we would like you to also have blah, 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 blah. And the great thing here is that you don't need to have every single skill. I remember when I got promoted in that role years ago, I didn't have every single skill that they asked for, but I had a willingness to learn most of them, and I did have some of the fundamental skills which the role required. So reflect a little bit around this point if this is an opportunity that's come up for you, because usually if you can find out a little bit more and get that intelligence beyond just the role description, that's really, really helpful. And the next thing to ask yourself is also to go, is there an in-between step? So if there's some hesitation for you and you've gone through the first two steps, you know a bit more about the role, you have clarity on it, and you're kind of feeling some hesitation, it could actually be that this role, this particular manager, this particular team is not right for you right now. But it never hurts to put your hat in the ring, or to put your hand up, or chat to your manager, or, introduce the idea that you really would like to move up in the company. Most companies, especially larger ones, will have some kind of talent management, which is like, how do we get our great people to stay and advance and grow with the company? And putting your hand up and making sure that they know that you want to be considered, and you're starting to get ready, or maybe you're already frustrated and you'd really like to be in that next level or that next step already. But think about it if there is an in-between step that you can take. So even if you don't apply for this job, is there a conversation you could have? Is there something you could bring up in your performance review or your goal setting with your manager for the year to come? There very often are in-between steps that is not this exact role, but a step in the right direction. So whether you apply or not, you can also start conversations, because it could be that you apply and they go, look, you actually don't have enough experience, or we were looking for someone who's got this particular degree or diploma or whatever that might be. The in-between step would really be to have the conversation then with a manager or someone and go, look, I am going to train myself, or I'm going to pick up that skill. The next time an opportunity like this comes up, I would really love to be considered. So it's all about positioning yourself in the company. And even if you're not looking to stay there forever, even if you have in your mind that you'll be in this organization for X many years and then you probably want to go elsewhere, you don't need to tell people that in the moment, because really all they really care about is, are you interested in growing and expanding? And don't feel guilty if they invest in you, if you do some training and things like that. You give a lot of yourself, I'm sure, in your role to this company as well. So it's always a trade and a flow of energy and value, and it's really interesting when I chat to people about this. So the short answer to this question is absolutely go for it. And if you do have any further questions or follow-up questions at all about this video, get in touch with me via hello@thebridgecoaching.com.au. If you have a bigger question that you'd like to have, I do always offer new clients a complimentary chat before you sign up with me, just so that we can work out if I'm a good match to work with you and that the tools that I have are useful for you to take your next career steps. Also, if you have a question you'd like me to cover in a future video here, please send that through via email as well, and I'd be happy to answer it either here in a video or just via email with you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to see you in the next video.